Okay, slight problem in the recording there. I had actually just been recording about 20 minutes without my microphone on. So now I think I'm just gonna not post that and make this part 3. Um, and not all that much happened. We did have a pretty major event, actually, though. Just one thing. That is that we got, if I go to my announcements, our very first artifact was created by Cyber Viking, and it was a chestnut bucket called Ungig Nonub. And we'll just take a look at that real quick and check the description on it. It is a chestnut bucket. All crafts dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with onyx. On the item is an image of a forgotten beast in chestnut, and its name means failed punch. So obviously, Cyber Viking had a little bit of something dark on his mind there when he decided to create a bucket about a forgotten beast that was encrusted with a dark stone. But that's okay. Our new migrant wave has finally started getting to work, and I've put them to work on smoothing out the main hallway because a lot of their skills are quite useless to us, really, other than the new chief medical dwarf and the new wave of named migrants. They haven't really provided that much to the fortress, so I've made them all stone detailers, and they're getting to work on smoothing all that out. Made a little bit of progress on the um, bedroom front, and I've had Cyber Viking, now that he is a legendary crafts dwarf, or rather wood carpenter dwarf. Carpenter dwarf? I don't know. Anyway, he's like a legendary carpenter, and he is able to make things much quicker and higher quality than your typical carpenter. So he's going to be pumping out beds for us as fast as he can. And our wood stockpiles kind of running low, so I'm considering about just dropping him from the woodcutter profession and giving it to someone to have a full-time woodcutter, and then we can always have adequate supplies of lumber. But since not much is really happening in the fortress right now, we just have a lot of construction still underway and a lot of minor tasks to fill out, like getting all these new bedrooms ready and smoothing out all these main areas here. I think I'm just going to cut until we get some more action happening, and I'll pick it back up then. Okay, so we do have a new event happening here, and that is that an Elven caravan has just arrived from the edge of the map, and they're proceeding to our fortress. We don't. I don't like elves in this game. I don't like elves in general, and in this game, we are not going to be making friends with elves. However, since our fortress has yet to get a competent military, and we still need trade goods, I will allow them to come and trade with our fortress. So they're going to be proceeding down the steps and through our grand hallway to our trading center. So we'll go ahead and unpause it. In the meantime, I've been smoothing out a lot of the walls. I did manage to smooth out all the floor and all of the, well, not all the floor yet, almost all the floor in the main hallway and all the pillars. So now we're just kind of waiting on the new smoothing jobs to get done. And when you tell them to smooth the floors out, it looks like it takes forever. But when you smooth out walls, you can clearly see how much work is getting done by these blinking things here. If they're blinking and you're not in the designate screen, you know that dwarves are on their way to complete them. So that means a lot of dwarves are doing a lot of work right now. And I was considering taking Linen Cat off of the smoothing detail because we have so many dwarves smoothing it down, but we're not in any real need of stone products at the moment. We have got plenty of cabinets and coffers and just generally have a lot of goods started to flood into our old bedrooms. And everyone in the old bedroom section almost now has a cabinet and a coffer. So that's a pretty nice bedroom at least for the moment, and they should be pretty pleased with that. And our new area here, we've got a couple beds going up, coffers in a lot of the new rooms, and I've started assigning them to dwarves, but it'll still be a long time yet before we've managed to complete this process. Our food stockpiles have been dwindling a little bit, but that's to be expected under the increased strain of these new dwarves. I'm hoping that when the Elven caravan gets here, that we can just pick up a bunch of their food in exchange for some of the crappy crafts that I have been making, rather that Kalalification has been making in the Craft Dwarf's workshop, because I've had them making rock crafts for a really long time. And I haven't designated the stockpile for those rock crafts yet because we don't have any bins created, and that means that they just kind of sit there and be taking up a lot of space. And we do have a ton of projects happening simultaneously right now, and the dwarves are trying their best to meet that demand, but it's certainly not an easy process. So I think I'm going to cut it here and bring you back when the elves finally reach our fortress, and we can begin some trade. And just real quick here, it looks like we've got a horde of, is this mountain goats? Llamas. Just llamas are everywhere right now. But yeah, I'll go ahead and bring you back in a bit. Alright, so the elves have finally entered our fortress, and they are deploying their goods to the trade depot. I have sent our broker, Epic Cheese Grater, to go and move to the trade depot. So as soon as he's done harvesting plants up here with Che and Lukawiki, oh, it looks like he already has. He was just moving it downstairs, but he should move over to that trade depot soon. And before I forget, I'm going to turn on the volume a little bit. Typically when I play Dwarf Fortress, I don't listen to the music. I listen to an LP in the background, usually Plump Helmet's LPs. And designate out more of these walls for smoothing. And even though this job has been set for a really long time to dig that out, the fact that all these migrants came meant that I had to assign all of this down here, which means they had to go drop what they were doing and leave this half finished when the bottom part is completely finished. So now it's... oh, but it looks like they're finally they're heading back over there. A thief has stolen a brittle bronze axe. What? There's a thief in our fortress. Unless it was sitting over here in this pile of stuff outside. Oh, there's where my old carpenter's workshop is. I wonder, but we can't really stop the thief because we'd have to spot him, and we have no way of doing that at the moment. But the fact that there is a thief, that kind of concerns me, because we don't really have any defense in our fort yet. And so what I'm going to do is order up a new mechanics workshop, because our old one had to be dismantled because we were moving inside the fort. And I'll put it towards the top here, because that's where all of our mechanical goods are going to be needed for now, and I don't want to waste our area down here with mechanics workshop yet. So you can see our dwarves are all carrying rock crafts that have been made by qualification, and a lot of those are necklaces and statues and stuff. They're going to bring them to the trade depot so we have something valuable to give the elves in exchange for their delicious elf wine and all that good stuff. Doesn't look like we have actually had our trader go there yet. Let's see. Trade at depot inactive. Alright, we're looking for Epic Cheese Grater. He should be somewhere in here. Epic Cheese Grater. You are storing an item in a barrel, and you are right there, so. Oh yeah, you were still carrying down food, it looks like. I should really get to work on making those farms upstairs. Seriously cut down on our transport time. Always very concerned about what's out here, because a lot of it wants to get in here and kill them. And we don't have really any good defense yet, so my next project after these stone detailers have finished smoothing down all these walls, I think, is going to be creating an outer defensive wall, removing all of these ramps along the side. You see those little triangles? All those are ramps that you can get from this level of height to this level here by walking down. If I remove those, then no one should be able to come to our fortress except through the main gates. And that will be excellent news. So place a wall here, make it out of siltstone. I think this is accurate. Siltstone. And go a long wall here. And our dwarves don't really need to cross that bridge anymore right now. Alright, and I'm just laying out a nice big wall to protect us from anything that might decide to come and attack our dwarves, because we just don't have any kind of actual army right now. All we got is Link, and Link has no weapons. I guess the elves might be able to protect us a little bit. I don't know if they even brought guards though. I don't think they did. Let me check. It doesn't look like there are any elven guards down there. Oops. I take Q, not tab. And Epic Cheese Grater's still trying to get there, it looks like. What is he doing? Epic Cheese Grater, Epic Cheese Grater, Epic Cheese Grater. Sleeping, okay. Well, we're just waiting on you to commence the trade. Oh, it looks like they brought like golden crowns or something. And several metal bars. He's still sleeping. Just check the food stocks. Alright, we're doing okay. Oh, Cyber Viking has created a masterpiece. Alright. I think it would be a masterpiece barrel. Oh no, masterpiece bed. It's always good. So someone will be sleeping in a very nice bed. No way for me to tell which one's the masterpiece, I don't think. Unless after I've placed it, examining it. That would work, I suppose. Oh, this room has already got an owner, as does that one. Let's see, these ones don't, though. So what I'm doing here is just assigning all of these new bedrooms to a dwarf that has no room, because sleeping on the floor doesn't make any dwarves happy. I still haven't created a common dormitory yet for people that don't have bedrooms yet to sleep in, so they are all sleeping on the floor. Although the hospital might count. In fact, I'll just make this common dormitory for the time being. I'll reassign it once we start actually building the hospital. Seems they've almost gathered all the rock crafts that we're going to need in order to trade with these elves. And we can start trading. Okay. They're enchanted by our more ethical works. The thing about elves in this game is that they really hate when you cut down trees. Like, that's the only thing they love is trees. So it's very important when you're trading with the elves, if you want to make them happy, or at least keep them like on your good side, to not trade them anything made of wood. Which is okay, because I have not created any crafts out of wood. Just have a ton of different rock items. So we have got a... oh wow, so we got a 1270 value on this. It's a pretty good deal. We're going to buy all their wood. And we're going to buy some rope reed fiber ropes. That'll help us to chain up all the animals pretty soon. Ooh, black bear cage. That's nice. We're going to buy some cages though. Barrels, don't need barrels. Buckets, short sword. It's made of wood though. We can make those ourselves. A pine bow. We can't actually use those. Dwarves can only use crossbows because they don't have the arm length necessary to pull the string on a bow. I can buy a pine spear, rope reed fiber rope, buy that. Ooh, wow, that's actually really expensive. It doesn't look like they brought any bins with them. They even created cedar breastplate. I didn't know you could make armor out of wood. Apparently you can. Pine shield. Rope reed fiber something. Leggings, I guess. Clothing types right there. There we go. Bags. Need those. A sandbag. Don't need that. Emerald dye. Red sand. Cloth bin. That's very useful. And... see if they have any... we'll probably pick up a couple more of these cloth bins. We're going to have to move more trade goods up to the depot in order to do that. We've only sent a fraction of our trade goods right now. Let's see, cedar figurine, pine arrows, willow arrows, prickleberries. Gonna buy this and this and this. That. Okay, let's see if they'll give us this trade. Okay, so he does not want to trade us yet. How about 100 profit? Nope. We're going to have to get rid of some of the things that we want because he will not trade at a profit of only 100. So we'll have to scroll up and get rid of some of the things that we selected so far. Alright, I think the wood can wait until after... actually, that is almost worth nothing, so we'll trade it all now. This can wait here, these rope reed fiber ropes. There. Okay, so he made 440 profit. Pretty good deal. He actually probably made more than that because our broker doesn't have very much skill in being a broker yet, so they can't tell how much things are worth, or they can't tell very well how much things are worth, which makes them sad. Okay, so I'm sending more goods to the trade depot. And it looks like this is what we have left to trade. They're all, almost all of them are very nice items. So that should be good. Cyber Vikings created yet another masterpiece bed. So that'll appease someone. I could see there's tons of metal bars they brought, and I would like to buy metal bars from them because I don't want to have to set up a metal industry for ourselves yet, because we'd have to burn a lot of coal and do a lot of that stuff that I don't want to really engage in because it's just so resource consuming. But we will see. Gonna remove these ramps. This will also prevent our dwarves from wandering up to the upper levels, which is always a nice bonus. It's now summer, apparently. Cyber Viking created another masterpiece. Looks like we're probably going to have him creating masterpieces almost all the time. Which is very good for our fortress. Not so good for my message spam. Yeah, so the trade, things are going pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to show the rest of the trade. Actually, it looks like a lot of our goods are already moving there. Our dwarves are still carrying things through there. So I'll actually go ahead and do another little trading segment here. See how much this is all worth. And trading will become much more quicker. Or not much more quicker. Much quicker in the future. When I have the ability to put things in bins. Like you saw when I was picking out those cloth bins. Everything was like stored in one container, and you can buy that container and that buys all the goods. And doing that really helps the dwarves out, because that makes them want to pick up the bin instead of pick up the individual items, which means one dwarf can carry like 25 items or however many it fits in this bin. Like this one bin here is worth 400, and then it has all of these various pieces of cloth in there. So you can see it's very convenient to have bins. But at the moment we're still focusing on sort of the initial setup of the fort, so we can't be bothered with crafting tons of bins yet. Shoreshast Azavimal apparently is an administrator. I wonder if that means they are ready to be... Actually, Elite Gamer is a skilled organizer. They're more of an administrator than this person is. I'm not ready to designate a manager yet, because I don't have any need of a manager. We don't have that much of an industry. But what a manager does, it is allows you to set orders for your dwarves to do, and that'll mean that instead of me having to go and to individually tell them to make a bunch of cabinets or whatever in each of these little workshops, I can tell the manager to order up like 50 barrels, and he'll go out to all of the workshops and tell all of the workshops that they need to have this many barrels, and he will have them make them, and then I just deal with the final goods. And at a certain point, you can use your managers efficiently enough that you don't really have to do really any micromanaging of your workshops, which is nice. But at the same time, I'd feel much more comfortable at this stage in the fortress to do everything by myself, so it's 100% efficiency, because the manager can only do his job if he's sitting in his office, and dwarves, even if they are bound to their office, as Observer will soon be when I create his office, they do have to take breaks for eating and drinking and sleeping, and that can conflict with the schedule that I have planned out. Alright, so we've traded everything we want from the elves. They'll leave our fortress pretty soon. I'll be glad to get rid of them. Not a fan of Elbstall. And our miners are removing all these up ramps. Looks like they just got rid of the last one. And our Fisher Dwarf continues to bring in food every day for our dwarves to devour. The only source of meat we have at the moment. I'm going to actually throw down a large bridge here. because I usually use bridges more as the sort of like a gate than anything else, because you can open and close them with a lever. But they're supposed to be used for crossing gaps, which is rarely what I do. Six idlers. 2 of them are on break. The rest of them are supposed to be making crafts. That's what they're doing. Rock, crafts, forever. And we have 2 workshops up because we have 2 craftsmen. That's qualification. And I think Corb is our other craftsman. I'm not sure. Yes. I guess the proper term is crafts dwarf. Alright, so now that we've designated the parts of the dining hall for smoothing, every time our dwarves go in there, they're going to get a lot of mood boosting, because they really, like, okay, let's see, this dwarf, that's Lukawicki. Take a look at his thoughts. Happy lately, made a friend recently, dined in a legendary dining room. Yeah, see, so we have a really, really nice dining room right now. She slept in a good bedroom recently, has been tired of eating the same old food, and admired a fine table, caught in the rain recently, and has been satisfied at work recently. So, the only negative there is that we have a lot of the same food. That'll be changing very swiftly with the advent of elvish foods that we just picked up. That, however, does not mean that we're going to be able to make these foods in the future. It just means we've got a large stockpile of them for the moment. Not a particularly large stockpile anyways, but big enough. And the fish will always add some variety. One problem that we're going to run into for quite a while is that we're not going to be able to make any kind of new drinks. It'll all be the imported elven wines and then plump helmets. Because again, our farms are not very well rounded at this point. And I think it's about time we started getting that new farm ready so that Lukawicki and Che can start producing goods faster and not have to walk all the way from the edge of the fortress to where no one is anymore, just to get their jobs done. And not much is happening at the moment. I'll bring you back when we get some progress on that front, and if nothing happens, then I'll get you back whenever the elves decide to ship out. So, see you in a bit. Alright, so it has been quite a while since I have last recorded. In that time, we've completed numerous projects that I've laid out. First and foremost, we have smoothed out virtually all the walls in the entire main complex of the fortress right now. The upper level of bedrooms there, not upper level, the forward area of the bedrooms around here, these all have smooth floors and smooth walls. So now our dwarves are very happy. We got hit with a new migrant wave of, I think, 5, which brought us to an even population of 50 dwarves. Most of our dwarves, in fact over half the population, have been assigned to one task, and that task is to continually smooth out things that I tell them to smooth out, which is why you'll notice we currently have 29 idlers. The reason for that is that they've almost finished all of the smoothing jobs. I'm going to designate a little bit more because we still have a fair share of it to smooth out, but in the intervening period, I finished trading up with those elves. I don't know if that was in the last section or not, and I got a lot of food and other stuff out of them. However, there was a small problem because I had got ratweed from them, and ratweed produces a seed whenever it's eaten, and you can only plant ratweed on the surface, and I have no surface farms, and so my dwarves have been storing them in barrels and kind of wasting our barrels on ratweed seeds, and I've now told them to stop putting the ratweed seeds in the stockpile. But we actually ran out of barrels in the intervening period, and now they've started to just dump the seeds on the floor, and this is exactly one seed here that takes up an entire slot where normally we'd have a barrel. And so it's rather important that we get rid of those seeds as soon as possible. Also, I've laid out the plans and actually dug out and emptied the area where the new farm is going to be, and I'm almost done setting it up so that the floodgate can be raised and lowered. So that's good. What else happened? The entire dining room is now smoothed out. All of the floor and everything is now smoothed out. People are incredibly happy. In fact, I'll pull up Dwarf Therapist real quick and just show you. You can see how much green there is among our populace. Everyone has a bedroom. Everyone has a really nice dining room to go to. We have plenty of food and drink. There is a small concern over the variety of food and drink, but that'll change. Down here you can see these are our new migrants. Looks like it was 9 migrants. But they all have bedrooms now, but they haven't been in our fortress for very long, and so they have not as nice. They don't have as good a happiness as they will in a bit. But things are going very well. Soon I'm gonna have to start creating custom professions because the I think this is actually our chief medical dwarf. Let me check. Here we are. It is Kumil? No, that's Egypt. Anyways, because very soon these dwarves are going to start getting taken by moods, and if they have a job for like lye making and they enter a mood, I am not going to have any way of dealing with them, and they'll simply go insane. Another possibility I've considered is just to put all of the dwarves who are currently on stone detail duty and make them all in the military. But we don't really have any military stuff set up yet. We didn't even have our barracks up yet. So it's kind of iffy as whether or not I'm going to do that right now. I'm still trying to consider where to expand the fort from here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do one more row of housing, and then I will start actually putting in more areas in the fortress, similar to this gigantic hall here and the 2 stockpile hallways. I'm not certain at this point. However, I don't want to maneuver the housing too far out from the workshops and from the dining room, and so what I'm going to do is these little wings here, they are going to be sort of entrances to the suburbia, if you will, of our fortress, where we will have all of our nobles' homes, all of the really nice lavish housing for our administrators and our offices, and that's going to be all over here. There's probably going to be statue gardens and fountains and other stuff. I'm also going to be putting wells in each of these wings. I still haven't decided how I'm going to get the water down to a level below us, but I will be putting wells in each of these. And the one by the hospital will obviously see quite a bit of utility soon. I'm considering setting up the hospital very soon. There's a lot going on as far as that's concerned. We have enough cloth, I think, to start setting up a tailor industry, but we don't actually have any farms working on it, so it's only going to be a temporary thing if I decide to start that right now. And I'm really just kind of waiting on our mechanic, Linen Cat, to get over here and finish the building of this lever, and it's taken a really long time to do so, and but hopefully we can get this new farm set up, because that's really the biggest thing that's slowing down the progress of our fort right now, is setting up the new farm and waiting on the old one to be oh my. Okay, we're gonna have an insane person very soon, I think, because this glassmaker has withdrawn from society. We don't have any glass making operations. We can't actually use a glassmaker's workshop, like we don't have the necessary materials, which is going to make it really difficult to make this person, whoever it is that just got taken by a mood, actually enter glassmaking. I think they're probably going to go sit in either their room or... Oh, what's this? They're going down. I don't know why they're going down to the bottom of the fortress. Oh, they're sitting here in their room, it looks like. So what I'm going to do is... Well, I can't do it right now because they're not actually entering their room. You're going to have to decrease the size of the bedroom, it looks like. Resize room. Minus sign. There we go. Doesn't look like that has stopped him from standing in the doorway. Okay. This is going to present a concern. If they go berserk, again, we're going to have to put him down. That could cause a lot of violence. But I know for sure that he's going to go insane. Luckily, it's just a cannon fodder dwarf named Saxul Obzamar. And he's a relatively new one because he's all the way here in the bottom. So, not going to be a big loss to our fortress. I can't even remember actually where you set up a glassmaker's utilities. I might actually maybe be able to do it. We'd have to have an ashery to get ash, and then I think we need lye as well. Let me check it on the wiki real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've looked at the wiki, and I really doubt we're going to have any kind of glass operations up and running for that dwarf, so he's probably going to go insane and perish. Either by our military's sword or by his own melancholy and starvation that follows. Now there is one thing I haven't shown you yet that I've been working on in a while. That is our outside. I have completed the wall around the fortress entrance, and so now I am waiting on our only mechanic, Linen Cat, to catch up with all the work he's been assigned. First, fix this lever to that floodgate, then he'll build a lever and attach it to the bridge here, and we'll raise that bridge because we have no need of going to the outside world. In the event a caravan or migrants show up, we can lower the bridge and thereby gain or give them entry to the fort. However, all other times it will be closed. Except, I guess, when we need wood. Then I can open it again. One thing I'm considering doing is, I know there's a lot of sand this direction here, and I need sand in order to create glass. So, actually, looks like there might be some sand there. Not down there though. But sand is essential for making glass, and I've never really experimented with glass making before. But I think we can do it, provided that I also create an ashery and start making pearl ash, which is again a very long-term thing, because glass usually is not a very important element of a fortress at all. You don't need it. It helps satisfy certain happiness things, and also it gives your glassmaker something to do. But I don't really ever use glass. I think it'd be pretty cool to have though. But as far as saving this dwarf goes, that's just out of the question. There's no way that's going to happen. And again, it's raining. Almost always raining. The outside of this area is always very depressing, especially around our fortress. There's no trees, it's just rock, hard rock all over the place, and lots of rain. Now, when I built this floodgate, I think that's Joseph Stalin back there. No, that's Pedro. Pedro went up there and he placed the floodgate. He locked himself in there though, because unlike doors, floodgates cannot be opened by dwarves. They can only be opened by mechanics, and usually by lever system is how you would want to do it. But the only mechanic we have apparently is busy doing something else, so he cannot get out of there. Pedro is stuck for the moment. Let's see if there's anybody. Yeah, where is Linen Cat? What is Linen Cat doing? Linen Cat. Constructing a rock door. Okay, well, you're gonna have no jobs at the Mason's workshop. So get over there, Linen Cat. Go. Now you should be doing that important job. Apparently not still. What are you doing now? Linen Cat, Linen Cat, Linen Cat. There you go. Sleeping. Well, Pedro is stuck back there, has no way out. So until we get a more cohesive thing together, actually, since the thing's already partially done, I'm not going to do that. It's a very bad situation we're kind of in right now, because I really don't want Pedro to sit back there and be unhappy because I can't eat or sleep or drink. But I can't really destroy the floodgate without removing all the progress that's been made on it so far. I'm gonna assign Linen Cat to only do masonry. Oh, it looks like he's already assigned to do that. And also to do... Wait a minute, who is this? That's me. Where is it? Mechanics. Alright, good. Okay. The good news is the dwarf back here, Saxugel, is staying in his room. So what I'm going to do, just to prevent any kind of calamity, is to build a little wall around his door so that nobody ever is injured because of his insanity. Looks like people are already getting out there to construct that wall. And we need to assign more smoothing tasks. So let's smooth out the hospital. Looks like we have almost 20 or so people directly on stone duty right now. Some of them have jobs that actually require them to do stuff, but they don't do those jobs 24/7. Okay, so now we don't have to worry about Saxul. He will be going insane on his own dime, not on mine. And poor Pedro has fallen asleep back there in the canal leading to our farms, so he's definitely not having a good time today. Oh, Linen Cat is really letting Pedro have a hard time here. And Linen Cat's still not decided to help out. What is he doing now? He's still sleeping. I'm just going to keep an eye on him. He's the one right here. So once he starts moving, then we can finally get this new farm underway and finally start picking up the pace in our fortress. There he goes. Let's see, he should take a left turn into the dining room. Nope, he's going somewhere else. What's he doing? Oh, right, I forgot. The mechanics parts are all stored over there. So he's got an exceptionally long journey to make, but it'll all be in good time. It'll be over. And Pedro will be free. Just in case I'm... Whoa. I'm going to forbid this and close it. And this tightly locked door here will, along with the wall, prevent that crazy dwarf from escaping. Oh, I should probably manufacture a tomb for him as well. P. There we go. Check our food situation real quick. Got a lot of plant material, 200 with 90 drink, 60 other, and 300 seeds. So we have a ton of seeds. And instead of constantly farming plump helmets, I think for this next farm, we're also going to be farming pigtails, because that will enable us to start our clothes making industry, which is really critical to having happy dwarves later on. Just check Pedro's thoughts real quick. Ecstatic lately, slept in a rough cave floor recently, well yeah. Dined in a legendary dining room, had a fine drink, slept very uneasily due to noise. Slept in a very good bedroom, talked with a friend, had a pretty decent drink, admired a fine door, admired her own fine container, and satisfied at work. Relationships. Let's just take a look at this. So Pedro has 3 friends. That's me, Che, and Joseph Stalin. And long-term acquaintances with Lukawiki, Lennon Cat, and Cyber Viking. Only passing acquaintances with everybody else. But you can see there's obviously not all the dwarves are here because there's nowhere near that's 50 names. That's because some of the dwarves have never ever even so much as said hi to Pedro, because they simply live on different routes, different times, etc., and so they never even meet each other. View this. Oh, so here's how we can tell what the deities are. So Pedro is a worshipper of Istrath, who is the deity of the Road of Basins. Often takes the form of a male dwarf and is associated with wealth. Okay, and Toral is the other one. Most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with fortresses. So Pedro is interested in becoming rich and living in a nice fortress. Both of those are goals of our fortress, so that's good news for Pedro. Oh, we're finally attaching the mechanics to the floodgate. And you'll notice a bunch of, on the bottom of the screen, I'm getting spammed with tons of these messages about people becoming engravers. That's because when people are detailing all these walls for so long, they level up and become proficient in that skill, which enables the game to say that they have become that profession. But professional engravers don't actually create anything other than detailed walls and engravings. Haven't started any engraving yet, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use our legendary engraver to do that. Elite Gamer is actually completely maxed out on the engraving skill. He, I think, will be our professional full-time engraver, chronicling the history of our fortress and increasing the aesthetic value of it at the same time. But for now, I think we're going to move downstairs and start smoothing out all the columns and walls here. But I think that's probably going to be it for this episode, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.